Hello, everybody. Welcome to Extra Points, a Delphi bracketology production in coordination with Student Union Sports. This is our first episode of the year. We have replaced 9 seniors from last year's group, but we have some young and upcoming talent in the sports realm this year. We've added a few new segments to go along with our new faces. Hope you enjoy the new show and stay in contact with us on Twitter. We can be reached at Delphi Brackets. I am joined by newcomer Catherine Lang on the panel today. Welcome to Extra Points, Catherine. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Let's get started talking about last week's games. Let's have a quick recap on some of the things that you thought were important from last weekend.
Not many games this week, but were very competitive. But the one I saw jump out was Penn State versus Iowa. You saw Penn State hold up on late with the last-second touchdown to avoid what would have been a huge Big Ten upset.
Also, several teams won to keep themselves in contention for the Final Four playoff. Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Washington, Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, just to name a few. A few exciting finishes, overtimes, and a last-second touchdown always happen on Saturday afternoons. As an IU fan, it's always a good day when both Purdue and Kentucky lose.
We are proud to introduce Jonas Brown, a junior, who will bring us to the hot-cold segment. Over to you, Jonas.
Hello, my name is Jonas Brown. I'm a junior at Delphi High School, and I'm doing the hot and cold segment. And so on the cold segment, Vanderbilt got absolutely destroyed by Alabama, 59-0. And Temple got dominated extremely well by South Florida, 43-7. And those teams were cold as your date ditching you at prom. And on the other hand, the hot teams was Georgia, and they are on a 4-game winning streak, including a win at Notre Dame. Georgia is as hot as a country girl at a barn dance.
Thanks, Jonas. We will now introduce newcomer Elijah Hudson with our Hot Seat segment.
On this week's coaching hot seat, we have Gary Anderson of Oregon State. Starting 1-3 has really been disappointing for this team, and their only win has come against a Portland State team who doesn't even have any wins. Gary Anderson, you're on the hot seat.
No one likes a hot seat. Coach Anderson will be searching for some wins in the Pac-12 to get him out of this situation.
Next up, sophomore Joe Perry, a veteran of Extra Points, is now up with the questionable call of the week.
Questionable call for this week goes out to the Kentucky secondary for blitzing on 3rd and 1, allowing Florida wide receiver Luke Del Rio to be wide open for a 5-yard touchdown.
Kentucky, what's going on? Not once but twice, you make a call to leave wide receiver uncovered. It was either an unbelievable call or a huge lack of execution. That is questionable. Nothing speaks college football more than the race for the Heisman. I once hurt myself doing the Heisman pose. Still a lot of fun to do, though. Jamison Connor is here with our latest update on who is in contention. What do you have for us, Jamison?
Hello, football fans. This is Jamison Connor bringing you the Week 5 Heisman Watch. Saquon Barkley moves to the number 1 spot this week with 28 carries and 12 catches in Penn State's 21-19 win over the Hawkeyes in Iowa. At number 2, Baker Mayfield led the Sooners to a 49-41 victory over Baylor while adding 3 more touchdowns and no picks to his stats. Rashad Penny, San Diego State's running back, moves to the number 3 spot this week. The nation's leading rusher ran for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Aztecs' win over Air Force. Mason Rudolph's Heisman chances fell down some this week when the Cowboys posted a 44-31 loss to TCU. Rudolph threw 2 interceptions in the game. Sam Darnold hangs on at number 5. Even though his Trojans are 4-0 on the season, Rudolph has already been picked 7 times through 4 weeks.
Surprising to see no Lamar Jackson on the list. I have to believe the 2016 winner is still lurking around.
Now it's time for our feel-good story of the week. We send it over to Michael Benner.
Hi, this is Michael Benner, and I'm here for your feel-good story of the week. So this week we go to the University of Iowa. Before the game, Iowa reserved seating for patients and families atop of the IU Steed Family Children's Hospital. So it's the top floor of the hospital that overlooks the stadium. And at the end of the first quarter, they will exchange waves with people at the stadium
That's one of the best stories so far this college season, the new hospital at Iowa and the fans making those children feel special on that day. That is what is really good about college sports. What's next, Catherine?
It's time for some previews for the upcoming week. We send it to newcomers Evan Fritz and Jordan Roth to discuss our game of the week. Take it away, guys.
Hello, my name is Evan Fritz and this is
Jordan Roth.
And we're here with the game of the week. This week we'll be presenting Clemson versus Virginia Tech. I'm covering Clemson and Jordan here is covering Virginia Tech. So this week I'm going to start us off with Clemson's offense. This week Kelly Bryant threw for 2 interceptions and only 140 yards. So his passing game wasn't on point, but the upside to the Clemson offense is their running game. This week, they had 2 rushers with over 100 yards and over 2 touchdowns. Kelly Bryant rushed for over 100 yards, and so did Travis Antonetti. They both have over 100 yards and over 2 touchdowns. Their defense is the best in the league. They gave up 37 points this whole season, and they also faced the highest powered offense with Auburn, giving up only 21 points. And I'm going to send it over to Jordan here with the Virginia Tech game.
All right, with Week 4 almost being perfect for the Hokies, being Old Dominion 38-0, and their quarterback Josh Jackson throwing for 327 yards, will it be that easy versus the Clemson Tigers? Who knows? But in this game, special teams is going to be a big factor. Virginia Tech has one of the most powering or overpowering kickoff returning teams in the country. They have returned 3 back, and they've all been over 90-something yards. And that is how the Virginia Tech's going to win.
Thanks, guys. Every week we'll also share some key traditions with our game of the week. And this week, Dave Gilbert is here with some traditions found at Virginia Tech.
Thanks, guys. This week's tradition segment takes us to Blacksburg, Virginia, home of the Virginia Tech Hokies. One of the best moments in college football is that moment right before when the home team takes the field and the crowd is whipped into a frenzy. There's probably no louder place than Lane Stadium during this moment. In a tradition that started way back in 1999, the team now comes out onto the field to Metallica's Enter Sandman. As the music is blaring, the crowd starts jumping around, and some people swear you can literally feel Lane Stadium swaying beneath their feet. And this creates one of the best moments and one of the best atmospheres in all of college football. And that is our tradition of the week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. Now Colt Spangler is joining us. He has an interesting fact of the week.
Hi, this is Cole Spangler here with the interesting fact of the week. With this, the Big Ten still up for grabs. The Indiana Hoosiers will be looking for a win against the undefeated Nittany Lions. Penn State has currently won the last 3 against the Indiana. They have also won 9 out of the last 10 games versus the Indiana Hoosiers. Will Indiana be able to pull off the upset against Penn State and extend their streak to 4 in a row versus Indiana?
That's quite a lopsided history between those two teams. Here are a few more games that highlight the week.
Games you want to watch on Saturday, if you're viewing at home, USC versus Washington. Might even be a Friday game. I'll have to check the schedule. But it's a game of 2 ranked opponents. The winner of this game jumps ahead in the battle to get to the Final Four. Indiana, Penn State. My Hoosiers travel to Penn State. They've lost a lot of games, as we just heard, to Penn State, with only winning 1 in the history of the rivalry. If you can call it a rivalry, I think Penn State wins this one going away towards the end. It's competitive for about 3 quarters, but Penn State has just too much to handle. What about Georgia and Tennessee?
Georgia is a traditional power who is off to a solid start in defeating Notre Dame and Mississippi State. Tennessee needs to get a big win after it lost to Florida earlier in the year.
And if you're a college football junkie, there are more than just those games on the schedule for this Saturday. Remember to check these under-the-radar games brought to you by Garrett Thompson.
All right, my name is Garrett Thompson, and I'm a junior. I'm here to give you guys the under-the-radar games of the week. Well, first off, we have Arizona State versus Stanford. This is a powerful Pac-12 smackdown, and going to be a great game. Now, in the Big Ten, we have Maryland versus Minnesota. As you know, the Big Ten's always packed with power teams, so great game. Next, we have Florida State versus Wake Forest. Florida looks to prove they're still a top 25 team, and Wake Forest wants to keep their perfect season going. So, there you go.
Remember to schedule some time this weekend for watching football. Have some good food available and stretch that remote thumb. You don't want to have an injury turn in the station. If you're attending a game, go early, tailgate hard, and cheer on your favorite team. There's nothing like a Saturday of college football. Thanks to the guys at Student Union Sports. Thanks to IU DJ Unique for providing the music. Until next time, for Catherine Lang, I'm Brian Tonsoni. This is Extra Points from Delphi Bracketology. Thanks for watching.